cafe. Anyway, welcome to Mike's Daily Podcast.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
Episode 2511, 2511. It's Mike Matthews here, getting a podcast to you.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
That's what it's called. Mike's Daily Podcast. How have you been? Have you been doing things? Are you going to win? This week is almost over, kind of. Well, let's hear it for dogs named Rover. That's right. Dogs.
Mike's Daily Podcast.
I already know what the podcast picture is today, and it's not of a dog. I think that was the last podcast picture we had.
Mike's
was the late great Basil,
Daily
the boxer,
Podcast.
in Benicia.
Yeah!
I love Benicia. If I could live in Benicia, I would enjoy it. It would be a horrible commute. I know some people that make the commute. Some people that I work with go all the way from Benicia to Fremont every day, and I'll tell you, or that thereabouts. That is a long drive, but I'll tell you, it's got there's some beautiness. There's some beautiness in it. But I haven't done a podcast in just a few days. I was interrupted slightly, so I'm getting back into it, and I wanted to tell you that there is, in fact, something artsy about this podcast. I know we're here at this wonderful cafe anyway, a bunch of great people here hanging out, and life is better when the city or the town that you live in has some art to enjoy, some stuff to look at that people have created. Right across the street from where I work, as a matter of fact, there's this interesting sculpture called Unity. It is made out of steel, and it's several circles entwined. It's very large. And, you know, when it first was built, actually shortly before I took this job in 2015, people in the city of Fremont were, oh, this is amazing. Look at this.
And here's today's podcast picture.
And now they see it every day, and they're jaded, and they don't care. But art adds a lot to a city. To mark International Artists' Day, which happened yesterday, there is this organization called Lawn Love that compared the 200 biggest U.S. cities to rank the 2022 most artsy cities in America. They looked for cities with plenty of art museums, galleries, performance theaters, and music venues. They also considered art classes. The late great Basil the boxer, they considered him because he was very artsy. Opera houses, and Basil likes to sing opera like he's doing now. Movie lover friendliness, and I'll have to tell you, I'm not a movie lover anymore. There was a time I was, but I'm so sick of movies. I'm such a jaded fool when it comes to movies. I'm all about TV shows now. And people's YouTube videos where they film them themselves, and they go and they go interesting places. So all of that was melded together to bring the 10 best and worst cities for art lovers. Ranking the top 5. Let's just jump to the top 5. Okay, we'll tell you the top 10. Most artsy cities in America. Starting at number 10, Atlanta. Number 9, Los Angeles. Boston is at number 8. Minneapolis at number 7. Pasadena, California. That's interesting. That's at number 6. Pasadena is kind of artsy. I never thought of it as that, but there's a lot of the old mixed with the new. It's an interesting town. A lot of the Hollywood is there. A lot of movies were shot in Pasadena. But there's a lot of very interesting museums in Pasadena. I forgot about that. Washington, D.C. is at number 5. Number 4 is Seattle. Number 3, New York. Number 2, a town that is soon to be underwater, judging by a report that I heard. Miami, Florida is just about, apparently in about 20 years or so, big chunks of it will be underwater. Yet you still have some of the most expensive houses in the country there. People want to move to Miami. And what's number one? Believe it or not, just about a 45-minute BART ride away, San Francisco, the artiest city in America, according to Lawn Love. Then there is the least artsy cities. I'll just give you the top three. Number 3 is Kansas City. Apparently not very artsy. Number 2, Laredo, Texas. And number 1, West Valley City, Utah. I have got to go to West Valley City, Utah just to check it out. But from the days of abstract expressionism to decades of bohemian riff-raff, San Francisco arts industry continues to boom today. It brings home the gold overall in entertainment and supplies. San Francisco has the most art museums, theaters, music venues, cultural events, art supply stores, and music shops per square mile out of all the cities. But that must be partly because there's just a bunch of stuff crammed into that city. Also, San Francisco boasts breathtaking landscapes and weather for California impressionists wishing to paint. But that comes with a humongous price. Pasadena, that I was talking about earlier, has the most art classes, art schools, and dance studios per 100,000 residents. Interesting. Unfortunately, not all small cities have a thriving art scene. Laredo, Texas, Kansas City, Kansas, and Warren, Michigan each fared poorly alongside West Valley City, Utah, which dropped all the way to the bottom of their ranking. Lawnlove.com is where that came from. Your lawn and landscape can be an art display of its own. So there. I'm listening to an interesting podcast that's totally... As we go outside a cafe anyway, we're bringing Mike's Daily Podcast, and we're in Podcastro Valley, the last place on earth.
Anyway.
Where we had an earthquake yesterday. Well, actually, there was an earthquake in San Jose yesterday. I was in Podcastro Valley as that earthquake happened. I did not feel it. And often that has happened. I don't know if that's a good thing. That's a selling point about Podcastro Valley. You can live in the Bay Area and not feel the earthquakes that happen. I have felt an earthquake once or twice here, but... I was listening to... So John Schneider's got a new movie. And this podcast was looking into John Schneider. You know, he was the dad in Smallville. He was one of the Duke boys in Dukes of Hazzard. And I guess he's really thrown himself into patriotic Christian movies lately. So it was talking about that. I didn't know all this about John Schneider. I had completely forgotten about him. But apparently he's got his own movie studios in Louisiana. Now, remember I was telling you recently in a podcast, a few podcasts ago, about a horse I saw in Podcastro Valley that looked like it was on land that belonged to the East Bay Regional Park District that was in a really small corral. Well, I finally heard back, and thankfully East Bay Regional Park District, they got back to me about this. I'm very thankful they did. And they wrote me this email. They said, Coal Canyon Park staff, because this took place in the Coal Canyon Park area of Podcastro Valley, part of the East Bay Regional Park District, they have checked on the horse in the enclosure above Coal Canyon Regional Recreation Area. Although the enclosure is not on park property, which when I first was reading and telling you about this whole situation, I disagreed with, because it looks like it's got to be on park property, but they're saying it's not. It looks like it is. It's just I don't see why they say it isn't, when it is on land that's out in the middle of nowhere. There's nothing else around except for the East Bay Regional Park District. But whatever. So, although the enclosure is not on park property, the ranger spoke with the owner of the horse, who said that the horse is corralled because it is recovering from an injury. The stall size is consistent with horse rehabilitation. Thank you for contacting us about the horse. We all play a part when it comes to animal welfare. And I wrote him back and said, well, I hope that as soon as the horse gets better, he gets released, because that is a very small corral for him. But okay. Anyway, Cafe Anyway. Oh, and the podcast picture, I forgot to say, is of our little cat, our little kitten, Rocky. We give them all kinds of names that usually have the word rock in them in the titles. Johnny Rocket, Rockin' the Casbah, Rock All Day, Sleep All Night. No, wait. Rock till you can't stop. What was the Rock of Ages? There we go. Anyway, anything with a rock in it, because he's gray. He looks like a rock. He was born in Hayward, which is also where The Rock, Dwayne Johnson, was born. He likes to box, so he's kind of like Rocky. Anyway, see his picture at MikesDailyPodcast.com. Look who's outside a cafe anyway, somewhere in Podcastro Valley, the last place on earth. Hi, Mike! It's Benita the Rodeo Queen! How y'all doing?
It's a disgruntled fiddle player, tell you what.
What?
You leave horses alone, Mike. You step away from the horses. It's a great animal, and they're wonderful. Tell you what.
What?
Step away.
Well, I like horses too, but this horse looks like he's in a really small corral. I'm worried about him.
Yeah, you just watch yourself.
I don't think we're understanding each other. Look who else is here.
Hello, Mike. I make delicious root beer. Have some on the...
All right. Well, that's good.
Drink it right now. I'll cut you.
One of the things... Oh, I just did. Why? That was unnecessary. One of the things we have to do with Rocky, though, is we're letting him run around the house, but I have stairs, and the stairs lead down to the garage and other things, so we've been putting this baby gate up, and it's pretty funny, because... So we leave the baby gate up, and it's basically on the stairs. So imagine how difficult that is, walking upstairs and suddenly there's a gate, and then you gotta walk over the gate to get. Anyway, Cafe Anyway makes I feel very. I have to do a little bit of gymnastics to get up the stairs. Let's go back in time, shall we? Because the times we live in now are interesting. Lots of stuff you can worry about. If you want to worry about stuff, there's always stuff to worry about. So I would suggest not worrying and realize a lot of it you have no control over. It's a massive, huge universe that's expansive, and there's black holes involved, and it's just apparently there's a black hole in the center of our universe. Anyway, Cafe Anyway, maybe just take it one day at a time and just enjoy yourself. But what I would say is, I want you to listen back in time to about mid-2003. What? We're going to go back in time to around mid-2003 when I was on a country station. It was a different time. Now I work in talk radio. And this was the days of country music. So...
Matt Michaels, it is your country concert connection, and we are going into the gift shop to see Shelley Shuhart at the KA Santa Fe Cafe.
Hello, Matt Michaels. I like it when guys have their shirts untucked because it makes them look like bad boys, and I think bad boys are so hot.
That's why you like me, right?
Oh my God! I'm laughing on the inside, Matt Michaels.
No, I think you're laughing on the outside. Who's this?
Jess.
Jess?
Yes.
Jess, what is your favorite summertime drink that cools you off oh so nicely?
Summertime drink. We'll say Sobe.
I can't hear a word you're saying.
Sobe.
What?
Sobe.
What's that?
You don't know what Sobe is?
No.
It's like a drink, like they have different flavors and stuff.
Did you say Sobe?
Yeah.
Oh, I thought you said Toby.
No, Sobe.
I thought it was some weird drink named after Toby Keith.
No, Sobe.
This is when you mix milk and chocolate syrup and Coca-Cola together, you call it a Toby! That's not it?
Nope.
All right, I might have played that one before, now that I think about it. But, okay, let's listen to a little bit more.
Stand by. The KH Santa Fe Cafe. We'll be right back on 100.7 KHA1.
One's muscular, like Aaron Tippin on KH.
Well, if you ask me where I come from, here's what I tell everyone.
That's a patriotic song.
100.7 KHAY and Matt Michaels. Let's see what mad concoction our bartender is whipping up at the KH Santa Fe Cafe.
Hello, Matt Michaels. I have Melly the barmaid with me.
Okay.
We are making a delicious drink that will be refreshing for you during the summertime.
Don't drink it, Matt. Don't drink it.
Drink it, Matt. Drinky.
Matt, don't do it.
I don't know what to do. I have conflicting emotions. KH, who's this? Who? Jenny. Hello, Jenny. The KH Cafe question, what's your favorite refreshing summertime beverage? Comedy?
No, lemonade.
Lemonade?
Yes.
Lemonade can cool you off oh so nicely.
Yes.
And it's got some good stuff in it like vitamin C and sugar. Lots and lots of sugars in there. Look out, Jenny. It's Martina McBride. This one's for the girls like Jenny and Mally on KH.
Oh.
I forgot about that song. So there you go. That was it. We had callers back then. People would call the radio station. Maybe you would like to call. Oh, that was, by the way, the segment called Let's Go Back with Matthews. Now the segment that you can call into, it's called the new Mike Matthews New Tunes Feud. Here are 2 songs. You decide which one you like better. This one is from Ace of Wands, and they wrote me a little thing. They said, "Dear Mike, have you ever wanted to be with someone you knew was no good for you? Desiring You was written while I was staying alone in a cabin in northern Ontario for 2 weeks." I get a lot of emails from Ontario. I would love to go there, by the way. It would be so much fun. I have not been. It was my first time, this letter says, taking a complete solo trip, having no one for company but my dog and my instruments. I recorded the demo, staying up late into the night, writing and recording the lyrics and harmonies. I'm Casey Kasem. And playing the bridge riff over and over again until it felt like a second skin. I always knew when a song is going to become bigger than me, when I feel it's in my body. Here's your request and dedication. Oh, she says it was inspired by a toxic relationship and the addictive and sometimes destructive nature of desiring what is not good for you. Ooh. Okay, let's listen to this. Desiring You by Ace of Wands. Wait.
I was on guard, walking into silence again. Words that soundless, the bloom of our attraction fades. Convince me I'm not okay without you. I'm in the way of your life.
Ooh, some nice harmonies. I have to stop playing there because I get dinged by YouTube. So that's Ace of Wands. Did you like that better? Or did you like this one? Here is a song by an artist named Waldo Witt. This is called Love Like a Fire.
You lay asleep and I caress just as a breeze blew in across the wall.
Which one did you like better? Ace of Wands or Waldo Witt? Call me 336-MM Daily.
Call now. 336-MM. Daily.
And if you would like to email me, why, I have an email address. It's MikesDailyPodcast@gmail.com. And there's the website, MikesDailyPodcast.com. And if I said all that really, really fast and you couldn't remember it, here is A-Frame.
Mike's Daily Podcast is written and produced and performed by Mike Matthews. His podcast is super easy to find. Download or listen to his show and read his blog at MikesDailyPodcast.com. Email Mike now at MikesDailyPodcast@gmail.com. See you tomorrow. Bye.